going on, everyone? Kyrie Irving to the Los Angeles Lakers is a real possibility. It's something that very likely could happen within the coming days even. Whether it's opt-in and then traded, which very likely would be the case because Kyrie Irving, if he does a sign and trade, Lakers are over the cap. They would be hard capped, so I don't see that route going. The other talk and rumor that does make a lot of sense and is really a Kyrie Irving thing to do is Kyrie Irving signing for the mid-level taxpayers mid-level exception, which would be about $6 million. And it might sound crazy, you might think no way, but it really is. I mean, Kyrie Irving lost the shoe deal and gave up $17 million to sit out and not play, over the whole, vax thing. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Kyrie Irving says, hey, I'll lose $30 million just to prove a point to the Brooklyn Nets. Like, you should have signed me. Now I'm going to go play with LeBron. I'm going to go win a championship. Whether they do or not, that could very well be his thinking. And there's not a ton of teams that really want him as being reported. It's being reported that every team except for the Lakers are essentially out of the race. Like, none of them want to trade for him, which does kind of make sense. The Lakers are arguably the best fit, but beyond that, they're arguably the best destination for Kyrie Irving. And that's something I want to get into and talk about further. Because one of the big things with Kyrie Irving, yes, if he took $30 million loss, would be really rough, right? But he doesn't operate in the scope of money. But even then, if he goes to the Lakers, he is going to make that money back tenfold. And that's something I haven't seen anybody really report. I even had a discussion in my comment section of one of my Kyrie videos, and we were even talking about that. And it kind of sparked this video. It sparked the video of like, hey, like this is something that is worth talking about. And I've briefly mentioned it in passing in some other Kyrie videos. But right off the bat, LeBron James. I mean, one of the big reasons LeBron James went to LA is because he wanted to be a billionaire. He wanted to reach heights that he couldn't reach in a small market. And going to LA, look, he got Space Jam 2. He got, all these networks and films and schools and all of the media. And I mean, just the level of success he has built in such a short time in LA is ridiculous. And that was one of the big narratives when he went to LA was like, can you imagine the heights that LeBron James is going to go success-wise, beyond basketball with him being in LA? And it's kind of along the same lines with Kyrie Irving. And the beauty is LeBron James has that footing. He has that establishment. He has those connections and ties to get Kyrie deals and, put back into movies, right? Uncle Drew, stuff like that. But LA and being with the Lakers is the best opportunity for Kyrie to get a new shoe deal. Whether it's with Nike or not, the best way for him to get that money back from a shoe deal is to go to the Lakers. If he goes to any other team, it's very likely not going to be another big market team, maybe New York, but New York doesn't really make sense. Like, yeah, you get Kyrie Irving and then what? You don't have a team that's going to compete. Is that something that you really want to do? Like, yeah, maybe you can get him a running mate in a couple years, but do you really want to max out Kyrie? Like, what's your identity? But if he goes to the Lakers, it makes it's perfect fit. It makes perfect sense. You got LeBron James to kind of help you grow your net worth and stuff like that and make up on the back end. And I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, this could be one of the reasons why it isn't being reported because it's something that, you don't want to tamper and stuff like that. So, media and stuff want to stay out of it. Well, I'm not the media. I'm just some random guy on YouTube. So I have no problem saying, I wouldn't be shocked if there was a discussion of like, hey, you come to LA, yeah, you're only going to take $6 million, but we're going to get you a shoe deal again because somebody's going to take you. If you can clean up your act and you play and we're successful, guess what? You're probably going to get a shoe deal again. Maybe it's not with Nike, maybe Adidas or somebody picks it up or, some other company that just wants a big name attached to them. You're going to get a shoe deal. You're going to be put in all kinds of advertisements and commercials and all kinds of stuff, especially the marketing behind LeBron, AD, and Kyrie. I mean, come on. The fact that you have LeBron as that guy that has his, foot in on all of these different, outlets, whether it's media, whether it's tech, whether it's schooling, whether it's, you get what I'm saying? He has so many things to help Kyrie get in a position to make that money he's going to lose on the back end and maybe even more. Set him up not just for like this year or the next year, but for the future. And then the Lakers can always max him out if it's successful and if they want to go that route after this year. So you sign the mid-level exception, but dude, you're going to make probably another $30 million in just endorsement deals and stuff like that. We'll get you a shoe deal. There's another $100 million you make. You're going to get basically what you would have gotten from the Brooklyn Nets and then some, because it's going to be for years and even after you play basketball. Like, there's so many things that Kyrie could get into, assuming he wants to. Again, Kyrie seems to not be a guy that really operates on money and really does things just for money. He's given up so much money in the past. He's given up, he's one of those people that really just gives away his wealth. He's not a flashy guy. He's not a guy that's driving around in fancy cars and owns 15 cars and big mansions and, and is wearing Rolexes and jewelry. He's very low key in that regard for somebody that's made, $100 million plus in his career. So he's not somebody that's strapped for money. He's not somebody that's hurting for money. He's not somebody that needs to make a ton of money because he has this ridiculous spending habit. No, he's very humble in that regard as far as like wealth goes and stuff. And you're going to make it up on the back end. I mean, you're talking about Hollywood. It's LA. I mean, all of the stories and connections and just just think of the narrative of LeBron and Kyrie teaming up once again, And then on top of that, you have the big three of Kyrie, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. I mean, we saw Anthony Davis in a bunch of commercials and stuff as soon as he came to LA. Like, yeah, he had like little things here and there when he was with the Pelicans, but in reality, he didn't get like all these major deals until he went to the Lakers. And LeBron helped him and assisted him, and he's still doing stuff. He's still finding ways to make money outside of basketball. You're telling me that's not going to happen with Kyrie? Absolutely. Of course, teams or organizations and studios and stuff would do stuff. You could make an Uncle Drew 2 and make a ton of money again. I actually enjoyed the first Uncle Drew. I actually thought it was a really good movie, and I thought Kyrie did a great job in it. So I mean, they could do something like that. They could put him in other movies. He could invest into tech companies and all kinds of. LeBron's your outlet. LeBron is your connection to everything, because he's been there long enough. Everyone wants to work with LeBron. LeBron's got all kinds of projects and now is a billionaire. All of those things. Like, he's going to take care of Kyrie Irving. I'm sure. And again, I don't know any of these people. I'm not the media. I have no inside scoop or anything. But come on, you're telling me LeBron, if he talked to Kyrie, which was reported that they've reached out to each other, they've had a conversation, whether that was about him coming to the Lakers or not, we don't know. But just timing seems like that could be the case. I just don't see LeBron not saying like, hey, dude, you come to the Lakers, yeah, you're going to take a huge pay cut, but we're going to get you back on the back end, and just think of all the things that I can get you connected to. Think of all like the businesses that I could get you invested into. Think of, the movies and Hollywood and the stories and all of that stuff. Like, you're going to be good. We can work on trying to get you a new shoe deal. I mean, LeBron next to Jordan is Nike. So, you got LeBron and Jordan as, I mean, you're telling me LeBron calls Nike and is like, hey, if he cleans up his act, he shows good faith with the Lakers, can you get him his shoe deal back? I mean, Nike might even come knocking if he's a Laker, because, I mean, now you get all that you could do all that Laker stuff, that Laker, connections. I mean, come on. The Nike, yeah, Kyrie was a bit controversial. However you feel about the situation is how you feel about the situation. But Nike made a decision. Okay, look, we don't want to deal with this. We're going to go here. He goes to the Lakers. There's no way Nike is not going to say like, hey, maybe we should take him back. He's a Laker now. We get all that Laker merch. We get a Laker shoe deal. All this stuff. You're going to have all the Laker fans going out and buying it and supporting it and buying jerseys and buying shirts and all. Like, I just don't see even if it's not Nike, I don't see some shoe company going like, it's okay, we'll miss out on potentially, tens of millions, if not $100 million. Like, I just don't see that happening because, Kyrie goes to the Lakers. It has one of the biggest fan bases in the world. You're going to have a lot of people buying Kyrie Irving merchandise, Kyrie Irving, shoes and hats and clothes and whatever, because he's a Laker. So you're going to make that money. Kyrie's going to be in a great financial state. And I think that is something that is huge. I think that is a big enough incentive for Kyrie to give up that $30 million to go sign with the Lakers. And then you sign a new deal or get extended or whatever, next offseason. It just, I think that there's more to it for Kyrie to go to the Lakers than any other team. Now, I still think the best route and most likely option is a opt-in and trade to the Lakers, but Does Brooklyn really want Westbrook? Does Brooklyn really want like Westbrook and THT or something, Because the problem is you're not just giving up Kyrie if you opt in and trade him to the Lakers. Because Westbrook makes so much more than Kyrie Irving, you're going to have to give up something like, a Patty Mills or something like that. Do you really want to swap a 2-for-1 for a guy that you might not even want, KD might not even want? Or do you just say, okay, cut it, go to Lakers. Kyrie says, all right, he goes makes a $6 million, and he's going to make $100+ million during his tenure, not even counting his contract. I just think that that's the best route to go. But as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think yeah, it makes a ton of sense. Kyrie's going to make so much more money on the back end if he goes and signs with the Lakers, that anything else, like him losing that $30 million is not a heavy hit. He's going to make, $100+ million. Or do you think, no, it's foolish. There's no guarantee for that stuff. There's no guarantee that anybody's going to want to work with Kyrie or anyone's going to want to put him in movies or things like that. I don't know. I just think that the story and the hype and the excitement and the fact that, LeBron James is LeBron James can easily get him connected in some capacity, and somehow, some way. And I just think that there's a lot of incentive that really helps Kyrie Irving. And I really think that it's a mutually beneficial thing. The Lakers really need and could use Kyrie, and Kyrie could really need and use the Lakers. And so I think it's one of the few, we both benefit in this, arrangement. But again, would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.